What is going on, family? Welcome and welcome back to another episode of TC Unleashed, where my goal is simply to get you to challenge yourself. First off, I want to thank all you guys who commented on my video before my last video. Are you who you really say you are? The comments were incredible. Thank you very much. And that's one of the reasons why I'm jumping on now. I actually had a phone call from somebody who touched on that video, who, they watched the video and, we talked about it. And one of the things I said to them is you have to know your worth, because they were saying to me that the person that they're in a relationship with a person who doesn't appreciate them. And my response to them was, you have to know your worth. And knowing yourself, or being who you truly are, starts with knowing your worth, appreciating and respecting your worth. Right? When you know your worth, people respect you differently. Right? Only because you walk differently, you talk differently, you deal with situations differently, right? You walk with that confident walk because you know who you are, you know your worth, you know what you bring to the table, right? But when you don't know your worth, that's where you have the problem at. When you don't know your worth, you truly can't be who you are, right? So people deal with you accordingly. Right? Stick with me on this now. Think about it, right? How can you be who God blessed you to be if you don't truly know your worth? How can you be who you are, your true self, if you don't understand your worth? You have to understand your worth. You have to know your worth. You have been blessed with talents and gifts that you are secretly hiding only because you don't understand your worth. You don't know your worth, right? You're afraid to display your worth, right? But you'll use those same talents in order to lift other people up, in order to help other people, and in order to but you're not getting the same back in return because you don't understand your worth. Then you sit back and you ask yourself, why don't they treat me the way they treat that person? Right? Why they don't talk to me the way, you know why? Because that other person is displaying their worth. They know their worth, so they're moving confidently. Right? It's all in their being, all in their movement. So people react to them differently. People respond to them differently. Right? Know your worth.
3, 2,
right?
1.
Sometimes you got to get rid of people. I've said it before. In order to grow. Because some people are just going to continue to keep you stagnated. They want to keep you down because they understand your worth. Your worth is good to them. So they're going to continue to exploit it for their own growth, for their own development. Right? Everybody ain't sweet, man. Right? I say it all the time. Everybody don't care. Right? When you have a genuine person in your corner that truly cares, they're going to try to help you grow your worth. They're going to point out those good qualities within you that you keep bottled up, that you're afraid to display. Right? Know your worth and embrace it. Everything will change. Your attitude gonna change, your walk, your talk, the way you deal with people. Right? It all will change. But you have to know your worth. And sometimes knowing your worth means knowing when to walk away. It's knowing when to say, I've had enough, and not feel bad about it. Right? When you know your worth, you don't feel bad about it. You feel confident about it. because you know you're doing the right thing. Sometimes you have to do it for yourself. I've said it in my last video, you have to be selfish sometime with yourself, with your time, with your presence, with your loyalty. Right? Because everybody's not going to appreciate it. In order to truly be who you are, you have to know your worth. You have to respect your worth. Confidently. Tell me what makes anybody else
3,
more important
2,
than you.
1.
Right? Let's talk about that. What makes anybody else more? We look at all these icon people, or what we consider to be we look up to people in our life as if they were God. Right? And I say this only because we go so hard for them, but we don't do the same thing for ourselves because we don't understand our self-worth.
3, 2,
What makes them
1.
any different than you? Huh? Nothing. The only difference between you and them, my man, is that they understand their worth and they understand your worth. So they just keep you under their wing. You probably the hardest worker on the team. But you won't do it for yourself because you don't understand your own self-worth. Understand your worth. You can identify with a person that knows their wealth, right? You see them coming because their worth is felt because they moving so confidently. They moving differently, right? Because they understand their worth, right? Right? Think about it. Some people will hang around you only because they know your
3,
worth
2,
better than you know
1.
your worth, and you'll see this, right? But it's not obvious to a lot of us, right? People recognize your worth, right? And you notice the people that recognize your worth because they'll attach themselves to you, right? But the problem with it is you don't recognize your worth. You don't understand what you're worth. If you didn't bring something to the table, they wouldn't attach themselves to you. If you didn't bring something to the table that was worthy, they wouldn't deal with you. But some people, like I said, would deal with you only because they understand
3,
your worth better
2,
than you do.
1.
Right? They'll stick around you just because they understand your worth. They'll call you every now and then just to keep that connection going. Right? But in between time when it really
3,
means something,
2,
you don't
1.
hear from these people. Right? Only because they understand your worth better than you. Right? You don't understand your worth, so you go extra hard. You do things for people that people will not do for you. And it's proven. You have to know your worth in order to know yourself. You have to know your worth in order to be yourself, right? I say it a lot in my videos. God put us all here for a reason, right? You are worth something. You are worthy of something, right? You have something. We all been blessed with something, right? But you have to recognize it, right? You have to know it for yourself, right? The crazy thing is, inside your head, inside your heart, you know that these people recognize your worth. You know that these people are using you because of your worth, right? But you don't have the confidence to dig within yourself, to use your self-worth for yourself. You continuously and genuinely give it up freely. And everybody ain't nice, man. Right? Everybody don't think like you. You go hard for people, right? You put your best effort into everything that you do when it comes to somebody else. Somebody that you feel knows their worth, right? You attach yourself to them, hoping that they'll recognize your worth. But they do recognize it. They just don't appreciate it. When you recognize your worth, you'll move on. You'll get that strength to move on. You won't allow people to take advantage of you. Right? Sometimes we don't know how to say no because we feel bad. Right? We feel that they don't appreciate you anyway. But sometimes that's exactly what you need to do. Say no. Get some strength. Right? Sometimes you have to get away from people in order to recognize your worth. Because some people will recognize it and just keep you down. Keep you working for them. Keep you moving strong for them. They don't want you to recognize your worth. Right? So they play you down. In little ways, subtle ways. It's not nothing where it looks disrespectful. Right? It comes off, they still smiling with you and shaking your hand, putting their arm around your shoulder, because they recognize exactly what you don't recognize about your worth. And that's why they're keeping you around. But you got to dig within yourself. Sometimes you have to get away from those that you love in order to recognize your own worth. Sometimes people are stifling your worth. They're not allowing you to grow. Right? You got to break ties with people sometimes that you might really love and love them from a distance. I'm not saying don't love them from a distance. But in order for your self-growth and in order for your own health, sometimes you have to be strong enough to move away. Right? Sometimes this is the only way to get away from people, right? And to get into yourself and understand your own self-worth. This is so important, man. This is where your confidence comes from, right? Guys, I'm not going to hold you any longer. I know I've probably held you for long enough already. I appreciate you, all you guys who stuck with me to the end. I appreciate all you new subscribers. God bless you and thank you. I appreciate and love all you guys who've been rocking with TC since the beginning. And if you found anything in this video that may be uplifting or may be inspiring to somebody else, please like, please share, and always, guys, please subscribe. As always, God bless. TC